So as my tomatoes were ripening this fall, towards the end of the growing season, I just simply cut the stems off, cut bad spots out, and stuck them in the freezer. So today I'm gonna make some room in my freezer by working on these, and I'm going to run them under warm water and get the skins off. I'm gonna put them in my big roaster pan and boil them down and can them as tomato sauce because we are already going through almost all the tomato sauce I canned. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I have this chicken that I bought and I'm going to smoke it because it is delicious smoked. I just kind of smoke it when I get a chance, and then I cube it up and I can freeze it or use it in whatever recipes I plan to for the week by putting it in the fridge or in the freezer will keep longer. So I'm cooking it today. It's hard to keep the kids from eating it after I cook it because they just love it smoked this way. This will sit out here and smoke probably at least 3 hours. Then I will turn it up and finish cooking it. So this has been cooking down for a couple hours this morning, and I think it's ready to blend up and can it. Okay, so to make my tomato sauce, I put it in the blender in small batches. My lid on, and mine has this little plug, and I take that off because I am blending hot liquid and it will explode if there's not enough venting room. But then I put a towel over it just to make sure it doesn't go everywhere. And I'm going to set this down as I need 2 hands, one to hold it and one to turn it on. That's done, and get a little tomato on there. Now we need a hot jar to put it in. So over here I have my jars, and I like the pints because we've been using this for tomato sauce for pizza, and these are just about the right size, and if I want something bigger I can just use 2 of them. So this gives me the most versatility, and since I've been emptying jars, it works well to fill these pint jars that I have sitting around. Air bubbles out of it. And I'll keep doing that until I have my jars full. Now I add salt. Let's see, a teaspoon to the big ones, half a teaspoon to the little ones. The next job is to clean off the rims, and you can use a paper towel or something. This is the way my mom and my grandma always did it. Just dip your finger in the water, rub it around there. Make sure there's no salt grains or tomato juice, and you can also feel for any divots and cracks, which you should check for first. Sometimes you miss them. Next, we put our lids and our rings on. Brand new lids. Large mouth jar. Finger tight. And in the canner. And I am pressure canning these tomatoes. That is not necessary to pressure can tomatoes, but it takes hardly any time at all to pressure can them, and it's the same for quarts and pints. So that's just what I do. I have loaded up tandem. I guess it kind of depends on what mood I'm in, what canner I have ready to go. Okay, my last preserving project for today is this turkey. So I was looking and turkey's on sale. Of course, Thanksgiving is next week. And this was 98 cents a pound. So I got a really big, almost 22-pound turkey and cooked it up. We had it for supper last night. Some of us had it for lunch today, but I want to try canning it, and then I will also freeze some of it and we'll use it for different recipes and things, just like we'd use chicken throughout the year. Now, I actually have never canned meat, so this is brand new for me, but I feel pretty confident that we can do it just fine. It's just going to be a long time in the pressure canner, which I'm not used to. Usually vegetables are relatively quick in the pressure canner. This has to be in there for an hour and 15 minutes. So let's stuff our jars. These have been smoking for somewhere between 3 and 4 hours. I would say it's time to finish them off. So it's really cold today. I'm going to turn it up to 350. Check on them in a little while and see how they're doing. So I've got 3 bags of turkey here, and I'm going to put them in the freezer, and once they're frozen, I will seal them with my food saver. There's 2 cups in each of those. Those will work well for things like pesto tortellini, or I like to make homemade taquitos with chicken, and I think it'll be just fine with turkey in it. And then my tomatoes, my tomato sauce just came out of the canner, and the one that didn't fit is in my pressure canner. Looks like I can turn it down a little bit. That's what's making that noise here. And we got the chicken in the pressure canner now. So I just brought the chicken in, and guys, it looks amazing. It looks so good. And I cut into one. See how it looks in the middle. Oh, it just looks perfect. I'm so pleased with that. So I'm gonna keep it warm in the oven, and we're actually gonna eat some of it tonight for supper. So it's the next morning, and I've taken the rings off and washed my jars, and I got 100% seal rate, which is really exciting because last time I tried to can something with meat, it was Zuppa Toscana. Not a single one of my jars sealed, so I was really careful with my temperatures here, like you guys on YouTube recommended for me, and they all sealed. They all sealed perfectly, so I'm really happy with that. So we have 4 pints of turkey meat, and then we have all that tomato sauce. So we could do chili twice, spaghetti twice, and we could do pizza 5 times. So I'm really happy with that. Okay, so today we're taking this area, which was our melon bed last year, and we are going to make it into no-dig garden beds, just like this is built, so that we'll have some room to expand over here come springtime. So I got my kids working on those weeds. Were growing up in our pumpkins, and so where we had the weed barrier down, they didn't grow, but that was outside the weed barrier. So they're getting rid of those so we can lay cardboard down and then start putting our dirt on top. I'm I'm going to show you some disappointments we've had over here, and there's always something in the garden that doesn't go as you want it to go, so this is just one of them, and thankfully we can prevent this. We just should have prevented it before it happened. So these are apple trees we planted this spring, and we've had apple trees over where we live and not had any issues, but because nobody lives on these 5 acres, the deer come here, and so the deer have done their damage on this apple tree, and man, I'll be surprised if it makes it. So they've stripped one entire half of this tree and obviously damaged the trunk significantly. So I'll be surprised if this one makes it. I do have this one over here, which they haven't touched, so that's good, but we need to get a cage up and around it as quick as we can. In Missouri, we're used to having to do that. If you go out to Colorado, you see the elk gift after trees, so they put quite the fences around theirs. So we can prevent this. We just didn't realize we needed to. And so this is my husband's tree he was so excited about, and they've gone after this one as well and severely damaged it. And then our couple of trees here that didn't do very well, actually. This one, the original growth didn't ever come to life, but it did come to life down there, and that's after the graft, so it was okay. And then this little one down here is also okay. Have to do something about the lean there, so I will put a cage around it and stack it up, but it does look like something nibbled at it a while ago, probably rabbits. So putting up these cages around them is definitely very important. I want to show you another problem that we've been dealing with. This is our strawberry patch. And we had a problem right from the get-go. Something was digging up the strawberries, trying to get grubs or toads or something that was underneath them. We also had them eating off the leaves, so we put up this fence here to try to prevent that, and as you can tell, something didn't care about the fence, decided just to tear holes all over it to get in. Well, then we covered it with winter, and we hoped that would deter them, but as you can see, we've had to duct tape it because they've torn through our cover. So that's a problem. This is the only place that they have torn through so far. The ground is starting to freeze, which is making it really hard for them to dig down and get whatever it is they're wanting to eat underneath the strawberries. So hopefully that'll stop, or we'll get snow, they'll cover them. But it's very frustrating, but there's always something, always something. Our trees aren't gonna get away anymore. But in all seriousness, this should keep the deer from rubbing on them. They probably can still eat at them, but I don't think that's our problem so much as the mark in the trees. tomorrow is Thanksgiving and I am getting ready to make pumpkin pie. So this is the pumpkin pie that we processed from the pumpkins that grew in our garden, and we froze them in half-cup pucks. So I'm getting them out to thaw so I can make pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving Day. So our pumpkin is thawed. I did throw it in the microwave for a little bit just to get the last little chunks out. As you can see, it's different than the stuff from a can, but it's pretty close, and I grew up eating homegrown pumpkin pies, and so it's not that strange to me. But you use it just like you would the canned stuff. I've got the rest of my mixture here, and I'll just add my pumpkin. I do find, and maybe you'll find this with most pies, but I have to cook it a lot longer than the recipe calls for, and maybe that's because this might be a little bit more watery. But I just cook it until it's set up in the middle, and then it's good to go. My pumpkin pie just came out of the oven, and I'm very pleased with how it looks. I'm not the best at making pretty crusts, but I can guarantee it's going to taste delicious tomorrow. And then I made a smaller one for us to try tonight, just to make sure. I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving.